thing called art science. I think it's good to combine art and science, the head and heart. And the I-society, which stands for, well, the social media, the infrastructure we have nowadays, because that I-society facilitates us to create a new community. Because we can live dispersed all over the world with, say, 1 million people and still be part of that new society. Herman? Yeah, it's your domain. It's, I propose to put it under art science. I think that the art science is the good place to go over a thing I call sense-giving, religion, rituals, senses. But maybe one of these goes and we create a new thing called religion. Robert Jan, maybe use the mic. Where's the mic? Here.
It just reminds me of a saying by Goethe, Johann Goethe, the German poet and natural scientist. He said, "The one who has science and art has also a religion."
Thank you. My brother. Okay, then about the society. Well, I've got now some slides to move a little bit down into these things, but I don't think I should go too deep into, because I've got 9 minutes left, right? Well, I've got a very little movie at the end. Harmonicracy, I talked about it already. Well, maybe the most important thing to say, I think we live in a system, a sort of system dictatorship. It's not a true democracy. I tried to bring in my vote proposals. I even sent email messages to Wouter Bos. I've never got an answer. No. And I think, well, it's just not good. And it's insane to each 4 years to flip the whole government. There's no company, there's no foundation who flips the whole, changes the whole staff, the whole board each 4 years. It's insane. We can do it differently. And I think we should use the internet for that. I noticed that when I put in the, how do you call it, stemwijzer, when I enter those 40 statements, then I think, well, now they got a pretty clear thing about what I want. And then it's translated to a party I don't want, and then those parties starts to negotiate, and my total expression is gone. I'm thinking, well, just take that thing I want and do it. Simple, no? Yeah, I think harmonicracy is one of the most important things, and the interesting thing is that I got into discussion with Johannes, and he proposed not to do it, create a word with crazy in it, crazy, but harmoniarchie, do it in, say it, because he has a nice German accent.
It's funny, arche means the origin, the beginning. And it means also the womb from the mother. So arche is much better than crazy. Kratein means to rule. And if we are looking for new terms, we should avoid all those images that are old. So I invited him to say, instead of harmonicracy, harmoniarche.
Yeah, so we should maybe vote on that, but we can do it later. That's a little thing for my ego to maybe let down my proposal, and yeah, and that's a nice thing about synergy. Maybe a new word was concepted between us. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I want to show you a little movie which I saw the first time the 23rd of March at the Club of Budapest. Let me think. And it's about a world parliament. It's about 3 minutes.
Is that for the first time in human history there are many topics that affect every single inhabitant of this planet. That's globalization. And the strange thing, if I may say that about it, is that you could say everything is, it's a famous quote, everything is globalized except democracy. So that's a big scandal.
On Thursday, all the participants took part in the world's first large-scale world parliament experiment. They were divided into 16 constituencies which discussed the topic of UN intervention in Darfur. First within the constituencies, then in the formal setting in the Grand Hall.
We suggest that the following sentence is added. The UN should act as a mediator in a way that retains the interests of the Sudanese people.
We believe that there are many problems that cannot be just resolved with one resolution or its amendments, and that perhaps we should need an international crisis group that would actually be consisted of all of our 16 constituencies.
We from Oceania also agree that there has to be a further peace negotiations and there has to be a mediator in this negotiation. However, we weren't quite sure if the UN is the proper body to do this, because when the UN came in without the invitation from the Sudanese government already has a certain negative sentiments towards the UN. So,
in particular, we should focus on sustainable development and more permanent access to water in the long term, but in the short term, I think we should focus on the conflict. Thank you.
After many rounds of discussion in the constituencies and in the Grand Hall, the elected members of the World Parliament experiment voted over many amendments. This resulted in a final resolution.
This is how we're going to do it. We have two suggestions on chapter 7. We put those up against each other, and then we have one suggestion. We're now going to put against the suggestion about just self-defense under chapter 6. Those of you who support number 11, please do that by casting your votes now. Well,
You made this. This is the first real World Parliament experiment with participants from all over the world in such a lab.
And that changes the dynamics. You don't have an ultimate constituency that you're reporting back to.
Open a World Parliament is possible if you join it. So it's not a question for the politicians or for some strange international institution. It's a question of you and me. If you and I believe we need it, we can do it. We can simply say, okay, let's create it. And that's what ISFIT is doing, and that's what we are trying to do on the internet. We only need the world population to support it.
Yeah, it's already there. And thanks for, I think the name was Johannes Rasmussen, the name of this? Rasmus Tinbergen. He sent me this video, and I think, oh, it's already there. And from within the NISA and Holland and Novaglobe, I want to join this. Not to create this myself, but to join this effort. And maybe there are people here who are good with communities or ICT or blah blah. Well, send me an email and we can just do it. Contribute, yeah. And we don't need politicians anymore. Who needs politicians? Well, there are politicians here, I think so. Yeah, it was Rasmus Tinbergen. Flow economy. As I said earlier, the successor of the economy. And I think we can just create some simple guidelines or things of that new model. En I would propose no debt, geen leningen. Gewoon niet meer doen. Gewoon niet meer doen. No money creation, or I should put it differently, no unproportional money creation. I propose a system in which the amount of money is a static thing per participant. So it's impossible to just enlarge the money system, because that creates inflation, that increases the need for interest, blah 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 blah. Don't do it anymore. And I would propose only business vehicles in a foundation style. Stichtingen, they're already there. Nice thing about foundation, it's not owned by somebody, it's owned by society. So we cannot have those stupid things with hedge funds running around with shares, manipulating stocks, etc. Just don't do it anymore. It's not needed, I think. I think a modest salary, maybe max 4,500 euros. For me it's not a problem, maybe for other people it is. Global cooperations, global things. Well, Jolanda talked about already in her spirodynamic things. We need global solutions. And take a look at open source dynamics like the Wikipedia, Linux, etc. It's already there. Linux is a software system designed globally. We don't need Windows anymore. I've got 3 minutes left. I've talked already about togetherhood. Yeah, maybe some keywords. Justitia, I think transparency is the key in a respectful manner. I think when we put things just to the web or make things transparent, people will think twice before they do things. And when they did things, they should have the opportunity to undo the damage done with the victim. Anxiety. Do people know about couch surfing? Somebody who knows about couch surfing? Yeah, quite a lot already. Well, it's a typical community, of course. But that's the new world. It's sharing of houses. It's a community in which trust is the key factor. If you want to create new friendships, it's not like Facebook friends. It's about filling a form. How do you know the person? Would you put your life in the hands of this person? And if you have been lying, you will be downgraded, even kicked out of the system. So that this system really gets clean. It's a trust community. And I think that's a basic for a Novaglobe or World Shift, what kind of community? Because then you get the good people in it. You keep the goodness in. And then goodness is rewarded. That's the new world. Old world, badness rewarded. Human sound, it's about taking care of people. And well, I've especially experienced mental care. And I suggest read the book The Normal Personality of Stephen Rees. And then you don't need the DSM-4 Bible of psychiatry anymore. And pharmacy is practically totally gone, I think. Art science, I talked about. Yeah, well, put it in action. And this is already putting it in action. Making ties with the Club of Budapest, with the political movement. It's already putting things to action, but we can do more. Yeah, I call the economy the beast. I think the end time of the Bible, it's near. And the economy, for me, it's the beast. And about change philosophy, don't fight the beast. You know, it's a dragon, cut off the head, two will come back. I say, hold the head, put a seed of the new world in the ground, look at it, and give it water, and then it will grow, and people will go to the new place, and the beast will die. Because the beast, it feeds it with us, our energy. Okay, I'm going to finish with a 1 minute movie, if I can find it. This movie I recorded at the Club of Budapest meeting. It was really an interesting guy I met. He came from California or something in Budapest. And he said things about how now we are putting change in action. There's a chance. Okay, who are you?
I'm Jean-Louis.
Yeah.
I live in Budapest nowadays. This was a very nice conference, as usual. Massive contradiction between their leadership shift strategy, which sounds like generations of work, and the fact that Erwin Laszlo says we are 1 minute to midnight. Now, to me, it's a very, very big contradiction between this very short-term emergency feeling and their very long-term plans about how to fix it.
Thank you very much. Utopia, it's coming. Crazy, no? But he is right. I've been to that conference, good people, a lot of nice suits, talking. And well, I saw some action, that World Parliament experience, wow, action. But then we need far more action. Do it. So I hope today that we'll create new connections with people who want to put things to action, and that maybe in half an hour we are back and we can show results about that new harmonicracy, harmony-archie. I want to thank you for your attention. Yeah, thank you.
So I just keep going. I don't know where